So, it is time to review now my favourite film ever. And it wasn't until today. In fact, Inception was always my favourite film just because of the concept and the visual effect and how cool the actual premise was. And I watched this film today for the first time, and it is just better than Inception. And that is the highest thing I can give it. It is so, so good. And that is V for Vendetta. Now, I have the comic book and the Blu-ray in the background. I haven't read the comic book yet. I will do. But the film isn't exactly the same as a comic book, apparently. So I won't be talking about the comic book, but I'll just be talking about the film. So first of all, the Wachowski brothers actually produced this film, and you can definitely see the impact with all the visual effects. Even Hugo Weaving's in it, who was Mr. Smith in The Matrix, and especially the slow motion scenes. And there's just certain camera angles where you're like, you know that the Wachowski brothers had some sort of impact in that shot, just because of the way it feels and looks like The Matrix. And first thing I need to talk about is how cool is V in this film. He's just got that. There's a part in it where he just says an entire speech, and it's just having the letters, all the words beginning with V, and it was just like, how? Now at that point in the film, I was like, is this going to be a bit of a jokey film? Like, it's a comic book, and they're not going to take it fully seriously, a bit like Batman versus Superman. But no, definitely this is a really dark film, like really dark. And it explores a lot of potentially controversial themes throughout the film. At one point I was like, this film has got to be banned in some countries. There was just too much anti-government and stuff like that it's just really insane that I even was shocked that they would allow this film to be made because of how just controversial it actually is in terms of themes and what the whole idea is about. But this film is just great in everything it does. All the characters are interesting, they all have their own stories. Hugo Weaving remains unseen throughout this entire film, which is great. I didn't want them to do, although Rorschach's story was cool in Watchmen, and I liked the fact that he showed his face kind of, and it was more about Rorschach than, I can't remember his name, like Kowalski or something. But no, in this film, it was all about V. It didn't matter who was underneath it. His origin story was only quickly said, and he says like he doesn't care. It's not about what he is, it's the idea and what he is, and he doesn't care what happens. It's just all about this idea and the frame of mind that he's in. And the film continues to do this all the way till the very end, and I love the fact that it could keep that. It didn't have the whole revealing his face and everyone's like, oh, it's someone or other, and it kept it all the way throughout the film, which was great. The action scenes were great in this film. There's a fight scene near the end where they used quite a bit of practical effects. Actually, I saw a behind the scenes version, and it did have quite a lot of practical effects, even for a film that you probably would guess would have a lot of CGI in, but it doesn't. And I like the fact that this V guy is just so cool, and the fact that he doesn't care how he gets his message across as long as he does it. There's actually like a scene where he goes into this news place and he makes all the people in it wear the same as he does with the Guy Fawkes mask and all this smoke, and they have to walk forwards. And he's one of them, and they don't know, and all the cops are trying to get the masks off. That was really cool. It doesn't say exactly, I don't think, when the date is, but I remember them saying that there was 2015, a few years before, so it might be like really near, maybe even this year. I don't know exactly when, but it was cool to see. And the thing was, some films can go overboard with the whole, oh, it's a futuristic setting to get like spaceships and stuff like this. No, this is complete like nowadays, but with a more, what's the word? More censorship and more control of the media. And it actually kind of gives you that impression that, do the media show what they wanted to do? Is the government controlling people? And this film portrays it really, 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 really well, in the fact that this government is bad, but is the hero bad? It even says on the back of the cover of the Blu-ray, like, whose side are you on? So I'm guessing there will be people who are like, no, the government are kind of right. V is a terrorist. He is doing illegal things. He's blowing up buildings, like with the whole music thing. He's got this entire, like, base of just absolutely contraband items, stuff like that, like music, art, all this type of stuff. And it is just really, really cool to see this dystopian futuristic setting that isn't too far in the future. It still is believable, and it's just a really, really great film, and it is the best film I have ever watched, and I'm genuinely saying that. It is so amazing that it will definitely stick with me. I will definitely watch it loads of times. It's got a great replay factor. All the actors and actresses did great in this film. The special effects were amazing. The story was great. And I will definitely say that V for Vendetta is 5 stars. It is just an incredible film. And I can't wait to read the comic book. I hope it's just as good as the film, if not better. And leave a comment down below. Tell me if you have seen the film. Now, this is where I'm going to get into the spoilers. It's just like one little part of the spoilers that I want to talk about. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. It's great. And I'll talk about the spoilers now. So, right. So hopefully you've gone now. This is what I'm going to talk about. Right near the end of the film, V is on this kind of, he's been killed, and he sends the bomb, his body to the Parliament. It starts blowing up, and Natalie Portman is talking to one of the cops, and he's like, who is he? And she says a name, and I was like, oh, why have you told him what it was? Why did you tell the audience who it was? It would have been better just to keep it. And then she goes, it's my mum. Oh no, that's it. She goes, it's my dad. I was like, oh, why? No, you wouldn't do that to a film. And they were like, it was my mum. I was like, okay. They're like, it's you, it's me, it's everyone. I was like, yes, they've kept the whole, it was an idea. It wasn't a person. It was all about the idea. And the fact that V dies in the end, it just shows it wasn't about him. It was about the whole idea and against the government. And I really, really like the fact that they kept this all the way throughout the film. So it was an amazing film. Definitely go and watch it. It's probably it is obviously the best comic book film adaptation. And yeah, tell me what you think of this review. Did you like the film? Did you think it was the best film ever like me? Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.